let's get back to this room that we have just now imported in our project from Unreal Engine Marketplace. Let us understand how they are using the lighting and what kinds of light they are using in their map. So currently in their level, they have 330 actors, which is a lot of actors. So I will just search inside the world outliner. I will just type lights. So here we can see they are using 2-point lights, 2 directional light, and 1 skylight, which will always go with the sky atmosphere. Let's look at this point light 1. So this point light 1 is emitting the light for this room. And then there we have the point light 2, which is emitting the light for this room. What if I turn out the light? So I can just hide this light in this viewport using this I button. So if I would just press this, it is just like the light is off in this room. And let us also off, or I can say hide this light. So if I just press this I icon, that light is also hidden now. The only light we can see now is the directional light. Let me turn both of these light on. If I go outside the room, I can see that there is a directional light and the skylight both enabled. I will go back inside this room. Okay, let's turn both of these lights on. Let us understand how they are using this point light. So as I said, the point light is an omnidirectional light which emits the light from one single point. So this light consists of a radius and it covers that radius. Now let us replace this point light with some other type of light. But first, let us disable this point light. So instead of deleting, I can just hide this light inside this viewport. So just by pressing this button, it will hide this light in this room. Now let us add a spotlight. So I will go to the place actors panel, and inside the light actors, I will just drag and drop the spotlight from the panel inside this room. I will press W so that I can access the translate tool. I will move this up and little bit of left. So somewhere around here looks fine. Okay, let's look at the details of this spotlight. So I will select the spotlight, and inside the details panel, let's have a look. But as I said before, the spotlight is also the light emitting from one point, but it has one single direction, and that direction is decided by the cone. So over here, this blue lines represent the cone shape. So the light only covers the area inside this cone. So now I can set the angle of the cone. So over here, if I reduce this, just notice how the light is reacting to this environment. So I can decrease the radius of this cone. So somewhat like this. I can also increase. So there are two types over here. We have the inner cone and we have the outer cone. So the inner cone will give us the hard edges of the light, and the outer cone will give us the soft edges of the light. You might notice. So we can set it like this, and again we can move the light anywhere around this scene. Somewhat like this. We can move it a bit left. Also, we can change the color of this light with the help of the color picker tool. So I can just change the light color like this. again, we have the attenuation radius for the spotlight too. So notice when I decrease the radius, the amount of the coverage of the light can be decided with the help of this attenuation radius. So I guess something like this looks great. Also, this light also supports the temperature. If I select the temperature, I can set the warm or the cool color for this light. So those are the properties for this spotlight. Let's have a look at the rectangle light. First of all, I will select the spotlight and let us turn off this light, or I must say hide this light. I will go back to the place actor panel, and inside the light actors, I can just drag and drop this rectangle light inside this level. So the rectangle light is a light but in a shape of the rectangle. So let us select this light and let's look at some of the properties for this rectangle light. So inside the details panel, we can set the angle for this rectangle. So right now it is full kind of 180-degree angle, but I can decrease the angle to make it look just like the rectangle shape. Also, I can increase the length for this rectangle. So something like this, I can change. And as you can see, the light has been concentrated in the rectangle shape. So when I increase it, so we can make use of this light if we want to show the light coming from the television or the monitor screens. So suppose I want to showcase this light on this paint panel. So what I can do, I can select this light and let us concentrate this light on this paint panel. I can rotate this light with the help of the rotation tool. I can select the rotation tool from here, or I can press E, and I want to rotate it horizontally. So I will select this blue axis and rotate like this. Also, I can rotate from the Y axis, somewhat like this. And from the X axis, I can rotate something like this. And I can move this little bit back. So now it is almost concentrating that part of the paint board. I can now set the width and the height for this rectangle. So just notice when I change the width, so how the light is been reacting to the environment. And again, I can set the height for this light. So now I can just rotate the light a little bit in this direction, or I can just move it downwards. I can increase the width and the height to the length. And also I can change the color of this light with the help of the color picker tool. I can set the color for this light. And again, we have the attenuation radius. So if I decrease it and if I increase it, just notice how it is reacting with the environment. So let us set this to default. And also I can set the intensity for this light. If I decrease it, it will get dimmer and dimmer. But if I increase it, it will get more and more brighter. So somewhere around here it seems fine. So now we can also enable the spotlight. So here we have both of these lights inside this level. I can turn off these icons by pressing G button. So if I press G button, notice that those icons get disappear. Those icons are called as the gizmos. So if I want those icons back, I will press G again. I will get those gizmos back. So those were the properties for this rectangle light. You might have noticed this decal or a sticker called as bad size just laying around in this entire lecture in this scene. Let us have a closer look. So if I just left press on this decal, you will see that in the outliner, the player start component gets highlighted. What is this exactly? So we can actually run this entire scene by pressing this run button. If I press play, you will notice that we are spawning below this house. Why is this exactly? It is because this bad size thing. So what is this trying to say is the player start has a collider. This capsule thing that you are seeing highlighted is called as a collider. It means it is a component which is now overlapping with this door and then this hallway kind of thing over here. So because it is colliding and it is overlapping those two things, it is saying that to present the player over here is a bad thing. It will not fit over there. It is a bad size. It is saying that. So to get rid of this bad size decal or this error, I might say, we just have to move this player start somewhere in an empty space where there is no collisions happening around him. So notice when I just pulled him up from the floor and also I transferred him in this empty space, you'll see that bad size decal is now disappeared. And now we have this little gizmo or the icon of the player start. So now if I just press this play button, you will see that we will be actually spawning from here. See? Also now you might notice that the light that we just hide, it is only hidden for the viewport. In the game scene, it is not actually hidden. I will just press escape to get outside of my game view. And now we are inside the scene view. You will see that this point light over here is actually hidden. We hide it inside the viewport, but inside the game, it is still there. Now to hide this inside the game, we can actually just delete it. But what if I don't want to delete? I just want it to be hidden inside the game as well. So I will just go to the details panel over here and here I will search actor hidden in game. So we have this tick mark. If I just press it, it will just check. Now, if this is true, and now if you play our scene, you will see there's no longer the point light activated because we have hidden it inside the scene as well. Now, again, we can just roam around this entire scene pressing WASD and with my mouse. Now you cannot get through this door because of those collisions. The player start has a bigger radius, a bigger collision, and that is why we cannot pass through this door. So we have this directional light over here. We have our rectangle light here and the spotlight over here. We can get closer or far. Looks amazing. I can just press escape to get outside of this game mode. And now we are inside the viewport. We can actually play this game mode inside a different window. So right now we are just playing it inside the viewport when I just press play. If I go to more options over here, I can select the Pi mode, the new editor window. If I just press it, now you may see we have a new window for this entire game mode. I can just take this window in other screen if I want or somewhere around here, or I can just full screen it. And now I'm inside the game mode, which is inside this new window. So we can just play our game inside this new window. Amazing. If I just press escape, this window will get closed and now we'll be back to our viewport.